what's up guys? Radku here, back with another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile, and today is going to be Hey, what's up guys? Radku here, back with another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile, and today is going to be Majispecters. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I kind of just found this deck and I was like, oh hey, that's kind of cool. It doesn't have a terrible gimmick. It's a pure pendulum deck, but like the whole point of it is once you pendulum summon, or even normal summon, you can add more Majispecter cards from your deck to your hand. So each card in the archetype has its own thing, like Fox adds traps, Raccoon adds monsters, Toad adds spells or traps, and then Yada adds spells. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So we play 2 copies of Majispecter Fox, because we do need a lot of Majispecter monsters in this deck. This is more of 2 different engines in here. I play the Wind Witch engine, and I also play the Barrier Statues. The Barrier Statues are just kind of something I threw in, just so because this deck is fully wind monsters, so it doesn't really matter. So, playing the Majispecter Fox, even though we only have 1 trap that we can search with it, but it's just a good special summon. Then we play 2 copies of Bun Baku, and this card, it can search your monsters, but the thing is, like, I'm thinking about bumping this up and bumping up Toad, and then getting rid of something down here, maybe the Ash Blossoms, because this isn't exactly a competitive deck. I don't think you could really ever make this deck competitive. It might be, like, locals level, but I doubt you could go much farther than that with this deck. It's not exactly very good. 2 Majispecter Toad. This card can search your spells or traps, and then you can set them straight from the deck, which is really good, but it restricts you because you can't activate it that turn. And we do have 6 Majispecter spells in this deck, so that's pretty good. Next we play 3 copies of Majispecter Crow Yada. This can search just your spell cards, which is really good because you have, again, your Pegasus, your Sonics, and your Cyclones. So yeah, that's pretty good. Next we play your Wind Witch engine. So the Wind Witch engine can get you straight to a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon just on first turn. And the thing about this deck is that it's not affected by the lockout, because it's a pendulum deck, so you don't even need to normal summon with this deck. So, and all the monsters are wind, so you can use this engine very effectively. So you can play your Wind Witch, 3 copies of your Ice Bell, 2 copies of your Glass Bell, and then you can play 2 copies of your Snow Bell. These are interchangeable, but you definitely want to play 3 copies of your Ice Bell, because that's what gets your combo started. So, yeah. Then, I play 2 Ash Blossoms, just so that, you can disrupt your opponent's plays, because this deck can't put out as many beaters as a lot of the other decks can. So, I'd say that you need some, help when it comes to that. 2 Barrier Statue of the Storm Winds, so that you can do a lockout. Plus, it's a wind monster, so it's not affected by the Wind Witch combo. So that's it for the monsters. You can throw out the Ash Blossoms and put in some more Majispecter monsters, but I kind of like Ash Blossom as like a tech option. We play 2 copies of Majispecter Pegasus. All Majispecter cards on the field gain 300 attack and defense, and then you can special summon a level 4 or lower spellcaster from your deck. Oh, sorry, you can special summon a Majispecter from your deck by tributing one spellcaster type monster. And again, all your Wind Witches are spellcasters too, so you can use Pegasus on them and be able to summon out your monsters, which is pretty good. Play one copy of Secret Sanctuary, the spellcasters. Okay, I just kind of put it in. Then we play 3 copies of Ties of the Brethren, and I actually really like this card. In almost any deck, it can actually work really well in almost any deck. And it does come in the Machina structure deck, so that it's really good. Then we play 3 copies of Ignite Re. So reveal any number of pendulum monsters from your hand and shuffle them into the deck. Then draw cards equal to the number shuffled. So that is really good. It's like Pot of Riches if Pot of Riches was on steroids. So Pot of Riches, you can return, I think, 5 from your extra deck and draw 2 cards. But with this, you can draw like a crap ton. But for the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you cannot draw cards by card effects. But that doesn't really matter because you get to draw like a ton of cards. If all your Majispecters were in the extra deck, you could draw 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 cards, and that is crazy. You could bump up the ratios for this and be able to draw more cards, but I kind of like the Majispecter cards where they are. So we play 3 copies of this. It is like the best draw spell when it comes to any pendulum deck. So then Majispecter Sonics, it's a pretty good card. You can double the attack points, and also it inflicts damage to your opponent. Wait, what? Oh, sorry. All damage inflicted is halved. So that's really good, especially since all these are pretty low attack. You don't have like a big beat stick in this deck, but with Sonics, you can double their attack, and you have a pretty good you have a pretty good play there. 2 copies of Sonics, just so that a bit of spot removal there. 1 terraforming to search out your Pegasus. Next, the trap cards, we play 3 copies of Solemn Judgment. I figured, hey, it's a pretty good card when it comes to anything. So, and it's just a good option in literally deck. So then we play 2 copies. Excuse me. 2 copies of Solemn Strike, just special summon negation. And then we play 1 copy of Majispecter Tornado, tribute 1 wind monster, then target 1 monster controls, banish it. It's basically like these 2, except worse. Like, it banishes it, true, but you have to tribute, and I don't know if that's really worth it. You can tribute and then gain more advantage with Ignite Reload, but all in all, I'd say that this is a fairly decent card, but you could just throw in a 3rd Solemn Strike and be good. So that is it for the main deck. I'd say the main deck is pretty solid. Other than a few options that you might want to switch in or out, I'd say it's a pretty solid. Now moving on to the extra deck, we're playing 1 copy of Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon for your Wind Witch combo, which, yeah, that's really good. 1 copy of Borreload Savage Dragon, just because you can have a bit of negation. It doesn't really matter. You don't need to play this card, but it's pretty good either way. 1 copy of Stardust Dragon, because you can still summon it out even if you've done your Wind Witch combo, so that's pretty good. 1 Clearwing Synchro Dragon and 1 Clearwing Fast Dragon for the same reason. They're just level 7 and you can summon them out pretty easily. 1 Wind Witch Winterbell, just so that you have more synchro options. The rest of these are just synchro options that you can go into, like Chambara. You can just instantly go into them if, say, your one of your Wind Witch cards gets negated. It's still pretty good. So there's that. Then for the Xyz monsters, we're playing Tornado Dragon, which it's wind, so even if you do your Wind Witch combo, you can still go into Tornado Dragon without having much worry. One Lightning Shidori. This card is really good. Even though it's lightning, it's not like a light type. I don't know why. Usually a lot of the like thunder monsters are like light or dark, but target one set card your opponent controls, return that to the bottom of the deck, and that is really good. And then you can detach one Xyz material, then target one face-up card your opponent controls, return it to the top of the deck. So that is really, really good. So that's it. Oh, and Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller is just good in any sense if you can Xyz summon it. So yeah, that's it for the Xyz monsters. Link monsters, all just generic ones. I do play Smorg, Bird of Sovereignty, because it's actually not playable in this deck. I don't know why I put that in, but screw it. I'll change it out later. You could use your barrier statue in place of it, but it's not exactly a good play. You can switch this out for literally anything. One Decode Talker, generic, good negation. One Saryuja Skuldred, because if you're gonna link summon into any link 4, Saryuja is the best one. Plus, it has your lower link arrows, so you can easily summon out your monsters again. Then we play one Boral Sword for the OTK, and yeah, that's pretty much it for the deck profile. Maybe we'll do some start hands in a sec. So yeah, let's go do that.